Traders, welcome back to the channel, and we're going to be covering AMC in this video. We had a pretty decent drop on the day, and I do think we could see more of a drop going into tomorrow. So I'm going to go over the chart and where I'll be buying more options on AMC because I'm still long-term bullish on the stock. But there's a few things I need to talk about in this video as to why this is happening. Now, everyone's screaming manipulation, but I think we need to take a cold, hard look at what AMC is doing with their executives. Now, they're looking to potentially dilute the stock. We talked about this in the last video, and I mentioned that this is just not good and that I'd pretty much vote no to everything. It's not even that important, the other little things, but to dilute the shares of 500 million shares would be absolutely catastrophic for AMC in my opinion. This is showing that they're just trying to slap a band-aid on a giant wound in the company. And I don't think the answer is to keep throwing band-aids and grabbing more and more debt. If we look at the debt ratio and how much they're paying back on that debt, it's absolutely outstanding what is going on. Meet Kevin actually did an interview with one of the guys, took on some of their debt. That was a pretty good video as well. And he is making a killing off of that debt. So these are things you really need to consider, that it's not manipulation per se with all of it. There is manipulation going on, but AMC's executives are now making stupid decisions as well. If you disagree, that is okay, because this is just my opinion and it's not financial advice. So always do your own due diligence. But let's not waste any more time. Let's get to it. Okay, so in the first part of the video, I want to discuss what's going on with this shareholder vote. Now, I discussed it previously in the last video, but I don't think people really took this seriously. And I think we're seeing a dip now, but I don't think it's going to keep going on. This is just kind of a dip that I kind of saw coming with this, but I didn't think it was going to be this strong. I'm not going to lie. I did not think that the dip would be this strong and that we'd see a massive drop. And then the market looked very, very green as well today. And AMC just kind of dropped. So that's worth noting. Now we have GameStop's earnings coming up as well. This is going to be a pretty interesting factor because if there's any bullish news whatsoever on GameStop, with Cohen becoming some higher management level of GameStop, that could be very bullish for GameStop, which in value would positively affect AMC as well because they're moving together right now. That's just how I believe the stock is moving. So take that with a grain of salt. Now, with the shareholder vote and then GameStop's earnings coming up, so we're seeing a little bit of a sell-off. We saw the quad witching, a lot of people repositioning their options and stuff like that. So we're seeing a lot of volume being moved around. Now, we're still positive. We're still above $12. We're sitting at like $12.50 right now. We look pretty strong. So we're going to get to the chart here in a sec, but the company is trying to fix its problems by doing the same mistakes over and over. This is not something you want to see from a company, to keep taking on massive amounts of debt, diluting their shares, which just would hurt mine and your positions going on AMC, calls, shares, whatever you want to consider. Anything bullish on the stock would be devalued. Now, people are saying, well, this won't completely devalue the shares. Yes, it will. It will devalue your position most likely by a lot. That's just the reality of the situation. And then we'd also see an overall drop in share price. Now, there's a lot of people buying in. We have Jordan Belfort. We have Dave Portnoy. We have all these people buying in to AMC right now, really getting into this mentality that AMC has a lot of progress to be made and still has a massive bull run to come, which I do believe in. I do believe there is a short squeeze here. There's a lot of manipulation going on that's holding it back. I 100% concur and agree with that. I believe AMC has tons of room to go past $20 potentially. I really do. Short term, I still want to see $17, but $20, $17, I could see that happening sooner than later. But going to that next level, this could really slow down that potential. And people were messaging me, Tyler, should I sell my shares? Shares really don't have too much to worry about because you probably got in around $6, $7 and you're doing pretty well. But if you're in options, you have to be considering the shorter time frames like me. So I'm in options. That's why I'm making videos on this every single day. And I do live streams going over what I'm doing with my positions. Am I adding more? Am I rolling them out? And then overall, just my mindset behind these options because time is of the essence. So long story short, I think what AMC is doing with this share vote and the dilution vote, no, it's not extremely new news. They did mention this kind of in the earnings call. Now it's really becoming a reality. And as it's becoming a reality, we're seeing that this does have negative effects. The market was green today and AMC had a pretty rough day. Now, what I'm targeting for more entries is going to be the $11.20 range. We actually had this marked out previously, but I'm still holding my April 1st $20 strikes. Very risky. I probably should have exited those, but we'll see what happens. I mentioned this live on the stream as well. I'm live every single morning at 8:30 Central, and then I'm live at night between 8:30 and 9 p.m. give or take Central time. But let's take a really quick look at the chart. Okay, so today the chart is absolutely different. So we saw a massive gap down and now we are actually bear flagging back to the downside. This is that price target that we want, that $17 range, and we're just not getting it. You can see that we're now pushing down, and I do expect us to get another leg down to this $11.20 range. That's where I'm very confident in getting more option calls and extending my position even further, as risky as it may be. But I'm feeling very, very good on these positions. So if we get a push down to this level, about the $11.20 range, I will be adding more to the position, and I'll be targeting around $15 to $16 strikes just because of the way the IV is moving now. So we're getting some consolidation, and then we're getting some downward pressure. So the IV on these bullish call options should be dropping down. So we could see massive potential gains when it comes to the call option side of things. That's always the mindset here, is just adjusting the strategy based on what the market is giving us. So if we're consolidating at all, the IV and the price and the theta of what's going on with these options are going to continuously be dropping, making them more profitable as we go down, extending out of the money, because typically I'm buying out of the money plays. So what we're looking at here, and why there is hope in my opinion, and what's going on with AMC. Now, we might not see the dump. We might not. So as we look here, this is actually looking more promising. As I mentioned in the last video, the OBV did look bearish, which we did end up breaking down. But now we're kind of seeing a consolidation on the OBV. We need to see how this plays out. OBV leads us majority of the time, and it led us to this breakdown, but we were looking for bullish signs, which sometimes gets you hurt. So what we're looking at here, we're seeing this sideways consolidation. Let's see how this plays out. Potentially an inverse head and shoulders, so we could see another leg down, but I don't like going off of patterns. I like going off of facts and the actual price action. So I don't want to focus on that, but what I'll be looking at here is going to be some consolidation. Can we consolidate onto the either upside or maybe a little bit just sideways and horizontal? That's what I'll be looking at there. Now, as we get a little bit closer and look at the chart, yes, you heard me mention we are in fact bear flagging, but AMC does bear flag quite a bit and then actually extend out. So say this is our bear flag. Typically with a bear flag, you get a breakdown, test, and then you start pushing back down. Now what AMC has been doing, and I like to go off what history has done because typically history continues to repeat itself, especially with AMC. So what I see happening potentially is consolidating to the sideways side. So if we consolidate horizontal, this would be bullish. So let's say we break out of this trend and then come horizontal like this going into tomorrow. That would be bullish for me, especially if we're sitting above VWAP, which we are sitting above VWAP right now. You can see that blue line right here. We're holding right above it. That is pretty bullish in my opinion, and this looks very strong. So there is quite a bit of things going for AMC, and I'm not just looking for bullish moves. I'm looking at the facts overall because I really do want to get a push down to this $11.20 range because that's the most optimal position to be adding more call options. But I see the case for us potentially not hitting there. Now, we're seeing this push and hold above the VWAP, which is the ultimate bullish indicator in my opinion, showing that we still have that momentum. But let's say we go into tomorrow and the market looks bullish, but AMC starts pushing down. I would immediately start to look for an entry at this $11.20 range because it is likely that we push down if we get back below the VWAP. So what I'm going to be doing is watching heavily onto this VWAP and seeing if we push underneath. Now, I know VWAP, it sounds a little bit ridiculous, but that's what I'm looking for because it really does predict and show where the momentum on AMC is. And, if we would have trusted our instincts going into the last one, we potentially could have got out a little bit better and, saved some of our position. But we were looking for a bullish factor, and that's kind of the dangerous game when it comes to stocks. You cannot be looking for reasons to be bullish. You need to be looking for reasons to make money on the stock. Now, that's probably one of the most powerful things in the world to say, but honestly, it's true. When you're looking at stocks, we should be looking for reasons to make money, not to have an opinion on the stock. So I shouldn't come into AMC and saying, okay, what's bullish about this chart? I should come into this stock and saying, how can I make money on the stock, whether it be down or up? Now, I'm not going to open up puts or shorts on this position, but it will help me decide whether I should get out of my position or stay in my position, if that makes sense. So hopefully you got something out of that. All right, so wrapping up my thoughts on AMC, I hope I wasn't too confusing or contradicting at all there. But I could see a breakdown to $11.20. And if we did, I would be ecstatic because I would be entering very heavily into those positions. I would actually be moving stuff out of my safe portfolio into AMC. That's how confident I am in $11.20 as a support. Going into tomorrow, I could also see a bullish case. But the key thing to watch here is going to be holding above the VWAP. VWAP indicates a bullish or bearish momentum, whether you're sitting above it or below it. And right now it is riding above it, maintaining it as a support, so that is bullish, so we have to take that into account. And then we also know tomorrow evening we will have GameStop earnings, which could be pretty major and really take GameStop to the next level. And I believe the beta is about 56, so they're pricing in through earnings there will be about a $56 move on the upside or the downside. That's pretty big as well. That's gonna wrap the video up, guys. If you got something out of it, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button down below because it really helps the channel, and I post videos every single day about the stocks that I'm trading, and I'm going live going over every single option trade that I'm taking here on the channel. Have a good one, boys. Namaste.
Check.